Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adriana. I'm glad you can join me today. Okay, so in today's video, I will be reviewing the first quarter K&C dramas that I watched this year. Now, granted, it was only 3 dramas that I watched total in full. There are a few dramas that I either started or I dropped them or I just put them on hold and I'm going to come back to them. So those 3 dramas are When the Camellia Blooms, The Wolf, and Mr. Queen. So I'm going to do my best to stay spoiler free in this video, but I can't make no guarantees that this video will be 100% spoiler free. So let me give you the alert now that there will be spoilers in this video, maybe, possibly. And also, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. All right, so first up, I'm going to talk about When the Camellia Blooms. So to give you a brief synopsis, When the Camellia Blooms is basically a love story between a police officer and a bar owner who happens to be a single mother. And you know, it's the whole love story of, I like this girl, but she's kind of hesitant to fall in love because she's been hurt in the past. So you have that story. At the same time, you have the story of the police officer trying to solve the mystery case of a serial killer who has reappeared in the town of Unsan after, I think, 5 years. So you got these 2 dual stories going along and they kind of connect. You'll see how they connect if you watch the drama. Okay, so as far as the storyline of When the Camellia Blooms, though, to me, it's just a general love story, but the added element of the mystery case is what kind of ramps up the intrigue of this drama to me. As far as the characters go, the main characters, I didn't care for them. They were okay. Like, I didn't like them as much as other people do. And that's because they're all very stubborn in their own way. Like, the novel, unconceivable notion of co-parenting, it gets annoying after a while. Like, it doesn't sink in that, you know, people can just co-parent and they ain't gotta, you know, be together. They can just co-parent peacefully. Just because you're not together, that doesn't mean one parent shouldn't be in the child's life. Like, that got annoying. Also, what annoyed me is this concept of, if you're a single mother, you're a burden to date. Like, what is that? Nah, fam, that irked me the whole time I was watching the show. But I will say, the nosy aunties of Unsan is what made the drama for me a lot of time, or a lot of episodes and a lot of scenes. I love how the concept of the nosy auntie is just universal across the board. No matter your culture or country, you always got this group of women, and sometimes men too, the nosy uncles that just be all in your business for no reason. I would have to say that of the characters, the 2 characters I liked the most were Young Mi and Yute. They were actually pretty good. I actually have no drawbacks about them. Like, even with their flaws, they didn't annoy me at all. So I liked them a lot. Oh, and I also like the lawyer wife. All right, let's talk about set design and costume design. So this is what I would say about the costume design and the styling. What I really liked is how even though I've never been to South Korea, I feel like that's what everyday people look like. Like, it's not all glamorous and it's not all dolled up. I feel like that's what everyday country folk, well, they say that they're country people, so I feel like that's what everyday rural country people in Korea will probably look like. And I also like how they style Don't Bake. Like, a lot of the characters describe her as like super pretty and super beautiful, but like the way they styled her and dressed her and did her makeup and everything, she's like, you know, everyday girl beautiful, not like supermodel K-pop star beautiful. Cause like, compared to her and Jessica, like both of them are very beautiful, but you can tell by how they're styled and their makeup and everything, which one is styled more like a celebrity and which one is styled more like an everyday girl. And I really like that. I like that distinction, because often when you see in media, when someone is described as super beautiful and super pretty, they're like, the people will style them like a Beyonce or like a Kate Moss or Adriana Lima or whoever you think is like super gorgeous. Appreciate that they can style and do Don't Bake's makeup and hair like a regular everyday girl, but still make her pretty. So I like that a lot. As far as the set design, I guess maybe it's filmed in like a real area. I'm guessing like a real place instead of like a studio set. But anyways, I like the design of the city. It looks like it could exist in real life. So there you go. See, my overall thoughts on the whole drama as a whole. I think it's a pretty good drama. I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's far from terrible. Like I said, the drawbacks for me were the characters. That's just personal taste. So for that, I'm going to have to give When the Camellia Blues a C+. Would I rewatch this drama again? No. If you like love stories and you want to see a love story that's kind of more realistic, definitely would recommend When the Camellia Blooms. But like, yeah. All right, moving on. All right, next up we have The Wolf. Oh Lord, I really hope the Xiao Zhan and Darren Wayne don't ever find this video. And honestly, like, my review is going to be no knock towards them at all. But yeah, so let's talk about The Wolf. When I tell you that I was really excited for this, because like a lot of folks, after watching The Untamed, I became a big fan. I was like, okay, Xiao Zhan, I'll watch the stuff that he's in. So the next thing I watched after The Untamed was Joy of Life. And that was also really good, even though Xiao Zhan wasn't really in it until the end. So I'm like, okay, The Wolf, oh, it's gonna be lit. It looked good. And plus Li Chu is in there, and she was also pretty good in Joy of Life. You got two good actors in there. Oh, it's gonna be lit. I'm about to watch it. Before I give my review, let me give a synopsis. Basically, The Wolf is about a noble girl who meets a boy who's raised by wolves. They become friends. An event occurs that separates them for a few years. They eventually reunite. They fall in love, but more shenanigans occur. Then you get this whole star-crossed lover vibe. Is it a good ending? Is it a bad ending? You'll have to watch to find out. I'm not gonna tell you. But yeah, so that's The Wolf. Storyline of The Wolf. That's probably my biggest problem about The Wolf, is the story. It started off so good. Like the first 15, 20 episodes, it was pretty good, I have to say. Held my attention. The pacing to me was not that bad. It didn't drag that much. It was interesting, and you kind of like the characters. At least me, you like the characters. After maybe that 21st episode, the story kind of like nosedive into this cycle of repetitiveness and dragginess and annoyance. And it's like, stuff don't make sense, and the stuff that do make sense, it just aggravates you, and it's just a few plot holes there. Now granted, I heard that the original cut of The Wolf is like 58 episodes, and then the cut that we see is 49. So those 9 episodes might have had a lot of exposition about those plot holes and some explanation. But at the end of the day, do I really want to sit through 9 more episodes of this show just to get a resolution? No shades to the writers, and I hate talking bad about people's work. It could have been better. That's all I say. Another part of the story that I didn't like, I'm trying to say this without giving away spoilers. The progress of the female lead, let me put it in quotes, the progress of the female lead seems disingenuous when you realize that she doesn't grow as a person in spite of her antagonist, but she grows as a person because of her antagonist. That does not make sense, but if you watched it, you know what I think you know what I mean. The fact that she grows because of him instead of in spite of him irks my soul, because I feel, Adriana would feel like if I found out that I achieved all of this because of you instead of in spite of you, I would feel like a fraud, and I'd be upset. That's just me though. Also, my knock against The Wolf is characters. Now, it's not all the characters. It's basically the male lead and the female lead, Bo Wong and Ma Zhaixing. After episode like 30 is like, can y'all stop? Like, can y'all learn how to communicate? Like, a bunch of y'all's problems would be solved if y'all would just learn how to communicate. Like, let me give you a basic example of the basic trajectory of their thought to action, you know, dichotomy or process. The thought process of the male lead or the female lead usually starts as this. I see that Bae is in trouble. You know what? I think Bae will be happier if I do this for them instead of telling them the truth. So then either the female or male lead goes to do the thing. Thing backfires or thing doesn't work completely to plan. The person that they were doing it for, the Bae, ends up being like, babe, what the hell? Why didn't you just tell me? Basically, at the end of the day, that's basically what they do. And it just happens over and over and over again. And after a while, it's like, God, why don't y'all learn to talk to each other? Like, how about that? Try that. The second lead, which is Xiao Zhan's character, and I guess the second and third female leads, they're pretty good to me. Ji Chong, Yao Ji, and Bao Na. I like them a lot. Ji Chong is just a very charming character. Yao Ji is a badass, stan her, and then Bao Na, comic relief, didn't like her at first. She had good character growth. I also like Fourth Prince and Ma Jing. I also like them a lot. Now, as far as the Night Fiends, I like Wen Yan the most, but all the Night Fiends were okay to me. So, you know, so basically the side characters, I was cool with. I really like the costume design of Boang. Like his hair, I like the whole undercut vibe of the hair. Like, it's actually pretty cool. I liked it a lot. And some of his outfits were good. Now, let me tell you who looked the best. Whoever did Yao Ji's makeup and her outfits, especially her outfits with her whole makeup and her nails and everything, the jewelry, the accessories was in the bag, honey. Loved it. She looked good. Everybody else, the costume design, it was okay. Like, it wasn't nothing like I was amazed by, but it wasn't bad by no means. Set design, pretty much the same thing. I feel like the set was cool. Nothing looked cheap to me. That's a good thing. So set design, it was okay. Would I recommend this drama? I will only recommend this drama if you really like Xiao Zhan, Li Chu, Darren Wank, or any other actor that's in there and you just want to support them or you really want to watch their stuff. I would recommend it. If you're into that whole star-crossed lover thing, I would recommend it. But for everybody else, no, child. Just wait till something better come out because it's really not worth suffering through 49 episodes of that. And I would never do that. So of course, I'm not gonna rewatch it again. I might rewatch a scene here and there because they do have cute scenes. But the whole show, yeah. So for the wool, I would give it a D+. All right, y'all, last but not least, we have Mr. Queen. A little backstory about Mr. Queen. Mr. Queen is basically the story of a modern day Korean chef who works at the Blue House. He's also a playboy. Can't remember the names of women that he be, you know, macking up on. Well, something happens and said man ends up time traveling back to the Joseon era where he ends up as a member of royalty. Is he the king? Well, no, by the title you should know that he ends up in the body of the queen, Queen Chorin. Her name is also Soo-young, that's her regular name, so Queen Soo-young. Modern day Korean man being in the body of a old school Joseon era queen. Well, you ought to know already that shenanigans will occur, and oh boy did shenanigans occur. I've never seen a story like this. I know that there are stories like this where a modern person ends up in the body of the opposite sex. There's stories like that, but I've never watched it, so this is pretty good to me. Everything is interesting. The story does not drag. The pacing is pretty good. I've never seen Go Princess Go, and I heard that a lot of people hated the ending. They were hoping for a better ending for Mr. Queen. I would say that I found the ending to be good for the story that it was. I will say this about the ending that I didn't like. I didn't like the cliffhanger aspect of the scene before the last set of scenes. But the ending overall, I found to be pretty satisfying. So it didn't bother me too much. By far, the best part of drama are the characters. From Bong-won himself, from Bong-won as the queen, king, court lady, and then the cook, and then the antagonists were cool. And I also like the whole, because Bong-won is from the modern era, I hope like the incorporation of modern Korean things with the Joseon things. I like that whole thing in time travel. Let's talk about costuming and set design. I really feel like all of those Joseon era sets and styling are kind of similar to one another. Like, I haven't seen a Joseon era Korean drama that I was like, ah, y'all look tacky. They all look about the same to me. Do they be shooting these at a standard set that's already built and then all the dramas just go to this one set? A lot of the scenes I was like, I think I saw that building before. I think I saw this before. So they actually, you know, I should probably look that up. With me reviewing K-drama videos, I should probably look this up. I'm wondering if they're all at a certain set. That's what I'm thinking. Would I recommend Mr. Queen? Absolutely. In fact, I think that if you have like a friend or family member, boyfriend, girlfriend, homie, whatever, that you want to get into K-dramas and you don't know what to recommend, I say recommend Mr. Queen first. It's really good. Like, I really liked it a lot. With all that said, I will give Mr. Queen the great rating of an A. I really wish it would get another season. That would be dope. But anyways, so those were my opinions on the C and K dramas that I watched in the first quarter of the year. If you liked this video, feel free to hit the like button. Also, if you want to see me ramble on and on and on and on about C dramas and K dramas in the future, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification bells. I think I'm getting more consistent on posted videos. I'm doing better. So yeah, I'll definitely be back again with more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.